Hello everybody and welcome to the annual conference Delegate Orientation. On behalf of the other state delegates, I want you to know we're excited you've decided to join us and we hope to see all of you in Flint, Michigan. Before we get into the specifics about the conference, let's meet the people who are presenting today. So as Eric shared, my name is Jacob Knight. I'm the Director of Residence Life at Franklin College in Franklin, Indiana, and I am the Indiana delegate. I'll let the other delegates introduce themselves now.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Gonzales. I work as an Assistant Director at Northwestern University, and I'm the Illinois delegate.
Good afternoon. My name is Spencer Giese. I'm your Ohio delegate, and I serve as the Program Coordinator for Leadership at Ohio State.
Hi, everyone. My name is Matea Caluk. I work in the Outreach Office at Michigan State University, and I'm the
So Matea is the Michigan delegate. So one of the main reasons we've transitioned to doing a delegate orientation prior to the conference is so we can talk about what conference attendees need to know and expect about the conference prior to your arrival. This year's conference is going to be a little different experience from what people have come to know and expect from GLACUHO. Instead of having accommodations at the conference site, and staying at a hotel, we will be staying at a hotel which is a couple miles away from the site. So, so what is our conference experience going to look like? There are 3 conference hotels that we are working with: the Holiday Inn, the Courtyard, and the Residence Inn. All 3 are within walking distance of one another in an area of Flint, Grand Blanc, known as the Gateway Center. The conference itself will be hosted at the Riverfront Banquet Center and the University Center for the University of Michigan, Flint. Since the hotels and conference locations aren't right next to each other, you and your delegation will need to plan for how to get back and forth from hotels to the conference centers. And we'll talk about some of this or some of the options that you'll have. So let's begin by exploring the 3 conference hotels. The main conference hotel is the Holiday Inn of Flint, Grand Blanc. The Holiday Inn is a 3-star hotel with classic rooms which include mini fridges, microwaves, cable TV, and free Wi-Fi. It also features the J. Porter's Steakhouse, where breakfast, lunch, and dinner are served. There are some nice amenities. There's a heated indoor pool area and a fitness center. This is the hotel with the largest block of GLACUHO rooms held, and there are still openings if you haven't reserved a room already. And we're also checking on that because we heard that that might not be the case anymore. In addition to the Holiday Inn, some of the GLACUHO attendees will be staying at the Courtyard by Marriott, which is located next door, and it is full at this moment. The Courtyard is a 3-star hotel with modern rooms and comfortable work areas. Rooms include free Wi-Fi and cable with premium movie channels. The last hotel option for GLACUHO attendees is the Residence Inn, and this one is also full at the moment. The Residence Inn is a 3-star hotel in the Great Gateway Center. Rooms feature living and sleeping areas, which include kitchens, free Wi-Fi, and comfortable work areas. As I mentioned before, all 3 hotels are in the Gateway Center, so they're all located within walking distance of one another. All 3 hotels will include a free breakfast option for attendees, so I definitely encourage you to take advantage of this. Please remember, the room rate lock is only in place until 5 p.m. on Thursday, October 15th, so you only have 1 week left to reserve your room if you haven't already. Now, let's talk about the conference locations. There are 2 locations where the majority of our GLACUHO sessions and meetings will be occurring. The Riverfront Banquet Center is located in downtown Flint. The rooms we'll be using in it are boardrooms A, B, and C, along with suites A through F. It is the site for the conference registration and delegate check-in, some of the Sunday committee meetings, the opening banquet on Sundays, conference sessions on Monday and Tuesday, the ACUHO-I Foundation silent auction, learning on the go, which will be happening throughout Monday and Tuesday, and the state meetings for Illinois and Michigan on Monday, the exhibitor fair on Monday, and the closing banquet on Tuesday. So a lot of stuff is happening in the Riverfront Banquet Center. The other location that we're using is the Harding-Mont University Center, or UCEN, which is located a short distance from the Riverfront Center. The rooms we'll be using in it are Michigan rooms A through D, Kiva, which is the site for the business meeting, and the Happenings room. It is the site for some of the rest of the Sunday committee meetings, conference sessions on Monday and Tuesday, the GLACUHO business meeting, as I mentioned, and the state meetings for Indiana and Michigan. So now, traversing the conference is one of the pieces that I kind of want to wrap up with before I hand this off to the next person. Knowing how to traverse the conference is going to be a very important part of this year. If you're attending sessions and need to walk from Riverfront Center to USEN, you're going to need to plan accordingly, since it's going to take you 5 to 10 minutes to get back and forth between those two locations. When the board visited the conference site during the summer meeting, we were guided through some skywalks which connected many of the buildings on the University of Michigan Flint's campus. But to be perfectly honest, it may be even easier and quicker to walk outside as long as weather is cooperative. And so you can kind of see the walking paths, or the gray lines that connect up there. And so you would have to cross 2 streets and then kind of navigate campus to get from the Riverfront Center to the University Center. Now, getting from conference locations to the hotels is something that we're going to be getting some help with. So the host committee has worked to provide shuttle service from the hotels to the conference center. You can see on this slide that there are various times that the shuttles will be running. We definitely encourage people to take advantage of the shuttles as a way to do some mass transit and be a little bit greener. But we also understand if you need to travel at some times where maybe the shuttles aren't running, or if you need to be somewhere and you've missed the bus, you might need to travel on your own. If you do decide to travel on your own, Tiffany, can you go to the next slide? Okay, I've Google mapped the distance from our hotels to our conference center, so you can kind of see what you're looking at. So according to Google Maps, the shortest route that you can take from our hotels to the conference center is right around 12 minutes without traffic, but I would guess that it's more likely to take approximately 15 minutes. If you do decide to drive yourself, there is free parking in the garage that's attached to the Riverfront Center, and so you should be able to park there free of charge. If you have any additional questions about the conference site, please type those into the GoToMeeting chat box, and we'll answer them at the end of our webinar. Before we transition, I do want to take a quick minute to thank Emily Bruner from the host team for joining us on this webinar and helping us field some questions specifically about the conference. Emily also just shared with us that she will have a fire drill happening in her building, so we hope we can get to some of those questions first before she has to depart. But thank you, Emily, for joining us. And now I will hand it off to our next person.
Hi, everyone. This is Tiffany Gonzales, the Illinois delegate, talking about registration. And so know that regular registration is $190, and we just ask that you do that by 5 p.m. on October 22nd to lock in the $190 rate. You would still be able to register for a week after that by 5 p.m. on the 29th with a late registration of $240. And then after October 29th, we don't accept any more online registration, and so that would be an on-site registration, which will be a total of $290. Please know that if you are not registered with the GLACUHO website, it's free. You will need to register for the website in order to register for the conference, and there is a little bit of a turnaround for when you sign up to when it's able to be approved, so make sure that you're planning accordingly. Plus, you should register on the website for great information, but know that you do need this in order to register for the conference. Another thing, another great feature about the website related to the conference specifically is our 2015 annual conference in Flint, Michigan forum that we have. And so if you can see on the photo right now, we have 4 different forums that we've started, and so registration help and frequently asked questions. So in there are some questions about technology, registration, all of the things you might need. So you can always check the forum, you can always add questions, and we will be moderating that. And then we have the case study competition, as well as general questions. If you have any questions about the conference, you're able to ask them there. And then the last one we wanted to point out is a ride sharing and room sharing opportunity. We know that this is a time where money is being cut from institutions, especially in the state of Illinois. And so if you are interested in ride sharing or have a room or need a room, feel free to post something on here and reach out to other colleagues so that way they know that these opportunities are available. Switching gears a little bit to the actual conference, we're going to talk a little bit about the ACUHO-I Foundation. The ACUHO-I Foundation has been around since its inception. It's raised more than $2.4 million for research, study tours, conference speakers, institutes, and scholarships. The mission is investing in people who make a difference in the campus housing profession worldwide. And the ACUHO-I Foundation is a really important part of our support of the foundation because a lot of our members have received scholarships and have received a lot of benefits from the foundation. And so what we like to do in GLACUHO is to support the foundation in any way that we can. And so two ways at the conference are the silent auction. The first is we have a silent auction since our 2012 conference in Columbus, Ohio. We have a silent auction, and we encourage you, if you are creative or if you're not, to bring something to donate to the silent auction. In the past, there has been jewelry, there's been artwork, there will be a state delegate basket, there's blankets, there's anything that you can think of that you feel someone else in the region would like. And then we have a silent auction. So Monday and Tuesday of the conference, you're able to bid on any items, and then the highest bidder wins. And so we encourage you to register your items that you're going to be able to donate, so we're able to have a list to know how many spaces we will need. And then we encourage you to check out the silent auction Monday and Tuesday of the conference. Another way you can support the foundation this year is purchasing a heart, and those are $1, and you'll be able to do that right at the table of the silent auction. And we're encouraging you to purchase a heart in recognition of a mentor, and so you can purchase that for $1 and write their name on it. You can write a letter to it, and then we'll have a large visual close to the silent auction table for you to view and check out all of the mentors that we have in our region and in our field. So I'm going to switch it over to the highlights of the conference with Spencer.
All right, thanks everybody. Again, this is Spencer, your Ohio delegate, and we're going to talk about 5 big events that we want to make sure that you're able to hit up at the GLACUHO annual conference outside of just some excellent program sessions. So those are moderator training, our state meetings, the business meeting, our CIE, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then new delegate orientation. So first we're going to talk a little bit about moderator training, which is 8 to 9 o'clock on Sunday night. So maybe it's your first GLACUHO, maybe it's your 11th GLACUHO. Moderator training is a great way to really give back to the conference in a very easy way. Our moderators are folks that attend a session and then hand out the program evaluation forms that are then filled out at the end. So if you're attending a session, which I hope you are, being a moderator is really easy. Our training for that is 8 o'clock on the Sunday night in the Riverfront Center. You'll go learn about what it's like to be a moderator, sign up for a session, which would hopefully be a program you're already planning on attending, and that will be the session you're a moderator for. Again, it's a great way to meet the speakers. You'll do introductions of the speakers, get to know them a little bit more, and then also get to take in a great presentation. On Monday, lunch is provided for all delegates. We just ask that you attend your state meeting. So each state has an individual meeting in individual locations that you'll find in the program book when you arrive to GLACUHO 2015. I can tell you that Illinois and Michigan will be having elections for their new state delegates in those meetings. So it's vitally important that you attend those meetings if you're from those states. We want to make sure we have quorum. Over 50% of our institutions from each of those states represented in those lunch meetings. So take advantage of that. And don't worry, Ohio and Indiana will have fun meetings too. We'll get to know each other a little bit more, do some networking, and again, have a great lunch provided by our conference hosts. Our business meeting, we're where really all the action takes place, is on Monday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. That's in the Kiva room in the University Center. The doors for the business meeting open at 7:30 a.m. and shuttle services will start at hotels at 7 a.m. So please plan accordingly. Make sure that you've got a representative from each of your institutions, please. And just to talk a little bit more about that, our elections for both our president-elect positions and our secretary positions will take place in that meeting. So that's why it's so important that we've got representatives from each institution. Again, we want to get to quorum. We are not able to have an election without quorum. So if schools are represented by attending the conference, we need them to also be represented in these elected board processes. Following the business meeting, we have the contemporary issues expert. So this year's contemporary issue is first-generation college students, and we've got an expert coming named Judy, who was most recently from the University of Cincinnati. And there, she was highly involved in first-generation college students and served as the director and program coordinator for the Gen 1 Theme House, which was award-winning. Judy has recently retired, but she is gracing us with her presence at GLACUHO 2015. And then finally, are you new to GLACUHO? You want to attend new delegate orientation at 4 o'clock on Sunday? So think about that. If you're coming with a delegation or you're on your own and you're brand new, you want to network and connect with others at GLACUHO, make sure you plan your travel time accordingly so you can be to GLACUHO in time to take advantage of that. It's a fun session. That's a great picture, whoever uploaded that one. That's new delegate orientation from last year. You can see tons of people coming to GLACUHO. Typically 60% of our attendees are new delegates, so it's a great way to connect with others who are also having the same experiences as you. So please plan accordingly, and then the opening banquet follows that. So come ready to go and experience GLACUHO, hit the ground running. All right, and I'm going to throw it over to Matea.
Thank you, Spencer. So this is Matea, the Michigan delegate from Michigan State University, and we just wanted to, in this webinar, include some opportunities for involvement in GLACUHO throughout the year. We realize that not everyone is always able to make it to the annual conference, and as you heard Spencer highlight some of the things going on at the conference, but we want to make sure that you also know of some of the opportunities that we have during the entire year, so that way it's not just happening, you know, right at the conference in Flint this year. So GLACUHO is a 365-day-a-year organization. So I'll talk about some main opportunities that we have. These include, you know, high-level and low-level involvement. It's really based on your time and your schedule. So I'll talk a little bit about what that means, and then you can choose to continue to be involved or perhaps just attend the conference and go to some of those great sessions. So first I'll talk about our committees. So currently we have 9 committees within GLACUHO. If you're familiar with our association, over the past 10 or so years there have been some changes in committees and things along those lines, but currently the 9 that you see on your screen are the committees that we have. The application to join a committee is currently open on our website, so you can go over to our website and apply to be in a committee. All of the committees are chosen at the annual conference. So what happens is each of the 9 committees has a committee chair, which is nominated by our membership and then appointed by our board of directors. And then once at the conference, we kind of gather all of those applications that we have received, and then each committee chair selects their own committee. So based on the projects and the tasks that each committee has, depends on how many people are chosen. So we have anywhere from 9 people in a committee to upwards of 20+ people in a committee, again, depending on what they do throughout the year. And your involvement in each of these committees may vary. So you may choose to be a subcommittee chair. So for example, we have the Professional Development Institute, which is a part of a Programming and Development Committee, and they have their own subcommittee chairs. These are the people who coordinate the PDI. And then for example, for Communications and Marketing, we'll have the Trends magazine, so you may choose to be an editor, or you may just choose to have a feature in the Trends magazine. So it really depends on how much time you're able to devote to a committee and what type of position you'd like to have within the committee. So as I mentioned, all of the applications are currently open, and so you could go over to our website and fill out one of those applications. We also have what we call task forces. These are not something that we have every year. It's not always consistent. The only one that stays the same really is our awards task force or group, if you will. And this is a group of professionals who decide on the awards. So I'll talk a little bit about what our GLACUHO awards are, but you could be a part of a group of people who decide on who's going to win each of the awards. This year we also have the Strategic Planning Task Force. Again, a group of individuals varying from graduate students to CHOs who are a part of a task force that are looking at some strategic planning and things of where GLACUHO has been and where GLACUHO is going in the future. And in the past, we've also had a bylaws task force who kind of looked at our governing documents to kind of decide, you know, what we need to change and how we can progress. So the next thing that I'll talk about is our Trends magazine. So you may have heard of our publication. This is the official publication of the GLACUHO region. It is released 4 times per year. It's not a scholarly journal, so we do encourage everybody to write for it. You could do anything from testimonials to maybe if you did a really cool project on your campus, or if you have done some research, you can certainly submit something along those lines to Trends. The next deadline, if you are interested, is December 31st, and here you could see on the screen how you can submit something. You can go to the GLACUHO website, or you can email directly to trends@glacuho.org. I know that for this issue, they're going to be looking for a lot of just testimonials or experiences that people have had at the conference. So if you are planning to attend the conference and you went to a really cool session, or you had a really good experience, maybe you did the 5K or something along those lines, you can certainly submit an article or a testimonial to Trends so that others can kind of read about the experience that you had. And then the next thing I'll talk about is just kind of beyond the conference. So I mentioned that GLACUHO ranges, you know, from small involvement to large involvement depending on your time. So what you could do, the first thing that I would encourage you to do, and I'm sure all the other state delegates would as well, is join our listservs. So currently we do have, each state has their own listserv in which we share bi-weekly newsletters of information with things that are happening within GLACUHO. We are looking to, in the future, move the listserv onto the forums that Tiffany mentioned earlier. So on our website, you would actually be able to interact with others through our forums. So currently, when you sign up on the website as a member, we will put you on our listserv. So if you're currently not on the listserv or on the website, please email your state delegate directly, and we can add you to our listserv so that you are receiving updates every time we have something new going on. We also encourage you to connect with colleagues in your area. So a lot of our states will have, Michigan recently had a drive-in conference for GLACUHO. I know other states have smaller state conferences or even student conferences through RHA, GLACUR, things along those lines. So we encourage you to connect with those GLACUHO colleagues in the area when you attend those events. Obviously, read our Trends magazine. There's a Trends archives available on our website, so you could always go back and read some of the submissions that we had over the years. And here you are, a GLACUHO-sponsored webinar. We also have a lot of webinars that happen throughout the year, and these are usually sponsored by our committees that I mentioned earlier. So there may be some special topics or special interest areas that you may want to hear about by attending a webinar, and you can do so right at your office or even at your home. And then also we do, we attend the ACUHO-I conference and exhibition, as well as the Oshkosh Placement Exchange. And at both of those events, we do have a GLACUHO social. So if you are planning on going to those next year, stop by our social and get to meet some of the colleagues from the 4 different states. And then state delegate initiatives. Some of your delegates may have things going on. In the past, we've had something called networking nights. So if you are on that listserv, you will know what kinds of events and initiatives your state delegate is doing. So we do encourage you to attend those. Here at the bottom of your screen, you will see our social media handles. So this is something that you could do really quickly, maybe even now as you're listening to us, is go to our Twitter or our Facebook page and follow us on social media. We do post a lot of different things on there. Currently, we have posted our appointed officers for our committees for this following year, so you can check those out to see who's been elected for those, or I'm sorry, who's been appointed for those. And then something else that you could do for next year is apply for a board position. So this is a leadership position within the organization, and this does require more time commitment than potentially a committee or, you know, writing for trends. So that's something that you could do. Usually our applications for board positions open sometime towards the end of the summer. And then the same thing with our awards. So we do have a good number of awards that we give out each year at our conference, and those are also posted on our website. And these awards also open towards the end of the summer, and this year they closed on September 30th. So that's another good way to get involved and just kind of nominate some people that you know, recognize them for the good work that they've been doing. So those are some of the ways that you can get involved in GLACUHO beyond the annual conference. So next what we'll do is we will open it up for any questions that you may have of things that we have not covered, or maybe some things that were not clear or you have further questions about. So I'll turn it over to Spencer and Eric for the questions.
All right, and through your side panel as a part of this webinar, you are able to submit any questions, so now's a great time to do that. I did receive one question. It is, how many program sessions are there typically at a GLACUHO conference? Typically, we have 8 program sessions to attend. I believe this year there are 3 on Monday, so 3 different sessions that you'll have hour blocks where you'll pick a session to go to, and then on Tuesday you'll have 5 different sessions to attend, or to select a session to attend. All right, I've got another great question about moderator responsibilities. So if you are a moderator for a session, what you'll do is you'll go to there's a room where all of our programming committees is at. You'll go to that room, you'll pick up a packet of program evaluations, and you'll take them to the programming session that you're the moderator for, and you'll greet people as they walk into the door, welcome them to the session, and then hand them an evaluation form. And you will also be the person who introduces the speaker of that program as it begins that program session. Oh, that's another great question. Does the Monday board meeting conflict with other program sessions? No, it does not. The only item that is occurring on Monday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. is that official business meeting. So we're asking that people are attending that session, and that should not conflict with other things. You should be on site and ready to start attending sessions right after that.
Can I just add, Spencer? This is Matea. If this is your first GLACUHO, we really encourage you to attend the business meeting. It's a really good place for you to learn about the organization and some of the things that are going on. And as Spencer mentioned earlier, the president-elect as well as the secretary positions will be discussed there, and you will have a vote for your school. So if you have not attended before, it's a really good way to kind of figure out what GLACUHO is all about. And if you have attended in the past, it's good to kind of see where we are at this point.
Here's a question for the other state delegates, Jacob, Tiffany, and Matea. What are the top 3 recommendations you'd have for a new attendee to do at the conference? So maybe one each.
I think one of the things that I found very useful in one of the first GLACUHO meetings that I went to, or conferences that I went to, was I got partnered up with somebody from my school and did a walkthrough of the exhibitor fair. We have many exhibitors that come to our conference to showcase, the products that they offer. And even though I was a graduate student at that time and had no purchasing power whatsoever, the person that walked me around kind of took me under his wing and explained, how this would be relevant to me in my future. And now that I'm a director of residence life, I do make those decisions, and meeting those exhibitors, is very impactful for me. And I love to connect with some of the people that I have business relationships with. So if there isn't somebody from your own school, don't be afraid to kind of see if there's someone else that would be willing to do that. And I would even volunteer myself. So find me if you want to learn a little bit about our exhibitors, and I'll happily walk around the exhibit hall with you.
This is Tiffany from Illinois. Yes, I think that's great, what Jacob said, and I'd be more than willing to walk with somebody around as well. It's a great part of the conference. I would say don't be afraid to start conversations, connect, and reach out to others. This is a time where the one time a year where our association, or as many as possible, get together. And making connections at the conference is really great. And so if this is your first conference, don't be afraid to walk up to somebody to introduce yourself. Before sessions, don't sit there and play on your phone. Interact with others in the room. Get to know one another. If you have business cards, bring them. This is a great opportunity for you to network and get to know others in the organization and the association, and that will lead to some really great friendships, professional relationships, and possible collaborations in the future.
This is Matea from Michigan. I think there are so many different things that you could do, but something that I would highly suggest is to attend your state meeting. I think, like Tiffany mentioned, in terms of networking, there's so many people that you'll see from all 4 different states. Sometimes we have people from outside of the GLACUHO region who come and attend our conference, but I think your state meeting is a really good place for you to kind of get your basic information and networking done, so that you know, especially here in the state of Michigan, a lot of the schools are within driving distance of each other. So if you met someone who's from the same state, you may be able to share resources, or even do a presentation at their campus, or be a guest speaker for their staff, or something along those lines. So definitely attending the state meeting and getting to know the people there, along the same lines of what Tiffany mentioned. Don't just kind of sit there in your own bubble. Sit next to someone you don't know. If you're going with 3 people from your school, don't all sit together at the state meetings. Sit with someone that you haven't met and then get to know them. Share your business card. Make sure that you bring your business cards. I know that's one thing that people usually forget when they pack. So bring your business card, collect other business cards, start that networking right there at your state meetings, and then kind of further that throughout the conference at some of the bigger events.
I would also chime in that if you're coming with a large delegation, don't be afraid to branch out and meet people from other schools. You've got a great van ride there and back with your delegation, but try to really step out and meet some folks that maybe you would have never met before outside of coming to that GLACUHO conference. Another question we've got is, how would you describe the dress code or the attire for the conference? And other state delegates, you can chime in as well. I would say it's somewhere around the snappy casual area. Some people will dress up a little bit, but snappy casual, business casual type of look.
I will say that you want to be comfortable.
Oh, sorry.
Hello? Yeah, you want to be comfortable, and so know that you're going to be in what you're wearing pretty much all day, especially because you're going to be attending sessions, and then the hotel is a shuttle ride away from the center. So make sure that you are comfortable but still presentable is a safe kind of bet to have. If I would encourage you to bring a sweater or something in case the rooms are cold, and then know that there will be a coat check for you, so that way you don't have to carry your coat around with you the entire time.
Also, to kind of add to that, there are 2 banquets that, and this is not a requirement, but people usually, dress up a little bit more for the banquet dinners, which is that Sunday night and then the Tuesday night. So if you are, kind of thinking about what you need to pack, and I apologize, there's a train going past my office as I'm speaking. If you're thinking about what to pack, those are kind of the two events where people usually bring some of their dressier things, if you will. And then there's a Monday night on the town, which is where people really kind of dress down, jeans, tennis shoes. This time around, you'll be doing a lot of walking, so bring something really comfortable. Throughout the day with the sessions, like Tiffany and Spencer said, you know, snappy casual, but those are some of the events that you may want to consider bringing other things for. And then obviously if you're participating in the 5K, you may want to bring something that you're comfortable running, rolling, or walking in, so that way, you know, you have that with you. So just what I would encourage you to do is go to the website, look at the schedule, see what we have going on, and then look at some of the special events and some of the dress, you know, some of the attire that you'd want to bring for those. And being in Michigan, I can tell you the weather right now, it's probably about 70, but in November it's probably going to drop a little bit. So, you know, bring a jacket, bring maybe even gloves and a scarf. I'm not saying it's going to snow here, but it may be a little bit chillier than where you're from, so just do bring something warm.
All right, thanks everybody. Let's hit up another question. When will we be able to view the conference program sessions? I believe that'll be published in the next couple of weeks. Those have been selected. We're just putting together the final touches on both our conference booklets and a guidebook app. So within the next couple of weeks, our guidebook app will go live, and you'll be able to view all those sessions before you even attend the conference, and be able to kind of plot out places that you'd like to go and speakers you'd like to attend. And a follow-up on that, will the program book be available online in advance? Yes. We will get those program sessions out to you, at least in guidebook, if not on a digital format on our website. Also, let's see, if a new delegate is the only person attending the conference from their school, are they eligible to vote on behalf of their school even if they are new? The answer to that is yes. Each school in our voting procedures, whether that be for president-elect, secretary, or a state delegate in those representative meetings, each school only gets one vote. So you could bring a delegation of 20, or you could be the only person from your school, and your votes count the same. So it's vitally important, especially if you are the only person from your institution, your vote matters. So make sure that you are at those meetings so you can cast it. All right, are there any further questions that we can answer for folks before we wrap up today? All right, thanks so much. On behalf of the state delegate team, I'm really excited that you all took some time out of your afternoons to listen to this presentation. And if you were listening online at a later date, feel free to reach out to any of us at our GLACUHO emails. It's merely the state@glacuho.org. So Indiana@glacuho.org, Illinois@glacuho.org, Michigan@glacuho.org, or Ohio@glacuho.org. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good day.